Welcome to the Mike Litton Experience Podcast. Mike has over 31 years experience in real estate, finance, and investing. He's passionate about being a father, a teacher, a realtor, an investor, and a leader. Everyone has a story, and our passion is to help them tell it. And now, introducing the host of the Mike Litton Experience, Mike Litton.
So what can you expect from the Mike Litton Experience? You can expect stories that will inspire, motivate, advice that will sharpen your focus, and expert information on real estate, finance, and market conditions.
I started a Facebook group, and I was like, a Facebook group? I'm not even on Facebook. So maybe for like a few months, I was like, blog, how do I do the blog? And then I was like, okay, fine. What is this Facebook thing?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that could work. So I was like, okay, let's do a Facebook. I think you're right, honey. So I went over to my ISA, my lead ISA, at the lead coordinator. I called him a lead coordinator.
Yeah.
And Jake, I go, Jake, this is the idea. What do you think? He's like, okay, I like it. What do you want? I want to be like the science of real estate, right? Breaking down processes, because we've got the whole process down for online lead conversion, right? And he's like, okay, got it. So together we came up with LabCoat Agents.
There you go.
The science of real estate, right? Exploring the science of real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And then it all started from one thing, which was posting about online lead conversion. And because it was newer,
Yeah.
right? Everyone wanted to know how it worked. What's the process? Does it actually really work? Right. And that's where it grew from. That one thing, dude.
That's cool.
That's
it. That's awesome. So you work with realtor.com, you pass up on the EXP thing. Sorry. So where do you go from there?
So then from there, what happened is I kept on getting other opportunities because of the size of the group and the noise it kept making, right? So not only was I in the top 1% in the nation, but I also have this group that's growing that gives me a voice for everything that I think agents should be doing. And when you start combining both, right, then it starts growing faster. And then we get the eyes of Inman, Facebook, and all these other companies are like, wow, there's a lot of people in that group. I wonder how it can work for us to get in there to promote our group or our product or our services. And so then we started testing that out to see how it would work. And then we teamed up with some companies that they gave us equity. And then some of these companies ended up selling for millions, and others didn't. Others failed. And so that's the other opportunity that I had, which was ownership in software companies, ownership in real estate tech companies, and then being able to consult companies like Facebook and Instagram. I have a social media now opportunity to be able to help people grow socials, communities, community growth. And from that, just from the community growth aspect of things, I've been able to help Keller Williams on a corporate side, right, with Gary Keller, and then Follow Up Boss, which because you're in the real estate world, they just got bought out for $500 million, right? We helped grow that. Lofty, which used to be Chime. A lot of these companies, we've helped them on the growth side for either building their community, getting audiences to look at them again, go deeper. And so that's been the benefit of working with us that I didn't understand really at the beginning what I was building.
Didn't you guys, and I'm trying to remember, I'm getting older, so I don't remember everything as clearly as I used to, but didn't you guys roll out your LabCoat's affiliation with Keller Williams at Family Reunion?
We did at one point where we were working really well with them. That's when we were consulting the whole corporate thing, a whole corporate side.
I was there when you did that.
Yeah, we were doing really well. In fact, we were helping them grow and be able to fix command, right? And that did pretty well. I mean, that relationship did well.
Yeah.
Nick stayed at Keller Williams, right? And I
Mhm.
came over to EXP, but it really hasn't dampened any of our relationships, which is interesting. Because everybody's like, wow, if you leave, I'm like, no, I've built these relationships that were pretty strong through this whole process. So, dude, I think the opportunities that came from being able to understand how to give value without expecting anything back,
Yeah.
all different outlets,
Yeah.
has really helped me develop as a person, not just as a business.
Yeah.
And it's given us so many opportunities.
That's
I
cool.
think that the thing that I've probably struggled with is making sure, because I have that fear of loss, right? Making sure I take advantage of the right opportunity.
Yeah.
So, because that's not the only one, right? I'm like, oh, I mean, we've had some amazing ones, but still, I want all the good ones.
Yeah. I
It's
don't blame you.
never gonna
I don't
happen.
blame you. It's never going to happen, but I don't blame you.
Yeah, I'm just getting a little better every day at being able to identify what I think is going to work. But
Hey, you
listen,
live and learn, bud.
yeah.
You live and learn.
Anyway, that's that. And I think the challenges that we had through that, through the growth, I like to talk about that because sometimes we forget that the challenges are really what get us to where we're going.
Oh, yeah.
The the whole incident, if you're in the real estate world, you'll know, and if not, you won't. But in 2016, we were attacked by a very small group of people saying that we had said some pretty vulgar things about women in a bus, and the
Mhm.
bus was heading over to an award ceremony where we were being nominated, right?
Mhm.
And it happened at the same time Trump said his things in a bus. So
Mhm.
a coincidence, right?
Yeah.
So
Great.
everybody was already angry. And those comments that they attributed to me and to my friend Nick were not us. It was the guy next to us. He even did a whole video saying, "Hey, that wasn't them." And even the comments that were said, they weren't like that. So I think we had a big target on our back. People were like, "Who are these? Who are these guys?" Like
Mhm.
they're nobodies, and they're getting all this attention. We're somebodies. We should be getting all the attention. Well, that bandwagon, a lot of people jumped on that one. The good and the bad. Here's the bad. Um, I was fired from Keller Williams, right? And the
Really? I
realtor.com
didn't
broke.
realize that.
Yeah, I was, dude. I was fired, which
I
was
didn't realize.
crazy. Maybe like 3 days after. And I was the one that sent it over to corporate. I was like, hey guys, just heads up. This is fake news, but I
Get ahead of
wanted you to
this.
see it right
Yeah.
before. So,
Well, I'm sure you're going to go into what you learned about this,
mhm,
but it really is who you rub elbows with.
true, man.
I mean, it's crazy, right? You didn't say that. He didn't say that. Neither one of you even thought that. The
Hmm.
person next to you said some vulgar things, and yet you get nailed with it.
Yeah. And that's
It's
just the way the
crazy.
world works, dude.
It's crazy how stuff sticks on you that's not you.
Yeah.
With me, you just happen to be sitting there.
That is the
So
crazy
it's a
part.
real life lesson for people.
It is. It is. And sometimes you have to learn these things the hard way,
Yeah.
right? So that that happened. It was really hurtful.
Yeah.
I'd never gone through anything like that, right? Where people were accusing you of doing something you didn't do. And not only did it affect me, but it affected my family because my wife's like, "What the hell is this?"
Mhm.
Right? And I had a lot of people stand up and say Tristan wouldn't do that. We know him. The cool thing was that when I called up Facebook, because we already had the relationship with Facebook, they said, "Yeah, no worries, we got you. We've been working with you for a while, so we know you."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, that was way easier than I thought."
Yeah.
Um, the Fidelity National Title, their corporate, right, billion-dollar company, they asked me a few questions and they're like, "Oh, we got you. We got your back." The two that didn't, Keller Williams and Realtor.com, believe it or not. Even though they
oh
knew
my
me
goodness
best,
gracious.
dude, right? Even though they knew me best, that was hurtful, the Realtor.com one. I was like, guys,
Kinda.
yeah, you guys are the ones flying me everywhere with my family. It's
Right.
like, how do you guys? And they're
You
like, oh,
practically helped build that thing for them.
I'm like, we can't. There's just too much backlash. Look, we believe in you, but we just can't stand behind you right now. When it dies down, I'm like, when it dies down, dude. So I learned not to shut down, to actually do something quickly. Because I'd been through something like this before in my personal life when I was younger, and I shut down. This time I wasn't going to shut down. And I was like, you know what? I think I need to take this head on because the obstacle is the way, right?
Mhm.
Let's just go up there and show people who I really am
Mhm.
online, in person, every opportunity that I get to speak. Um, and dude, to this day, this episode 2016, to this day, I still get rejected to speak in some places when they're the ones who invite me. And I'm like, this is crazy. How a lie can stick to you for so long. So I still have to deal with that sometimes, dude.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Well, when you're around people who have succeeded at a high level, they're super, super careful, especially if they have a higher profile. They're super careful about who they spend time with.
So
They're
true.
super careful about who they're seen with, and I mean, I love the idea of saying yes to everything, but there's also a point where you go, so we interviewed an author the other day who wrote a book called The Friend Cleanse.
The friend cleanse. I like
The
that.
Friend Cleanse. And it's literally about getting rid of, and by the way, her episode will be up probably in the next week or so
Send
on
it over to me.
live on the podcast. Huh?
Send it over to me when you get it.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. So it's so super smart, super smart. But it's called The Friend Cleanse, and it's literally about making sure that you get the people who are counterproductive in your life out of your life,
Such a
and
good
it
idea.
comes down to things like spending time with them. I mean, even when you get into like riding in vehicles with people and stuff, I mean, it's
Dude,
crazy. So you get through the 2016 thing.
yeah, that blew me up into a whole different atmosphere of influence
Yeah.
and fame within the real estate community.
Yeah.
There were multiple articles written. It's not just one, multiple. And just one article had over 1.5 million of views in a week.
Wow.
So that means I got texts, voicemails, videos, video messages. Go to hell. You should, go do stuff to yourself.
Right.
And then some support. Hey, listen, whatever happened, I believe. Blah, blah. It was great. The point is, when they tell you that bad news is good for your name, that's true if you use it that way,
Mhm.
uh, which I did.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not me. Let's show the world who I am now that I've got attention.
Yeah.
That's what
Now
it
that
was.
you're watching, right?
Now that you're watching. Yeah. And that was
Good
it.
on you, buddy. Good on
Thanks,
you.
man.
I'm proud of
Thanks.
you.
Thanks,
Okay.
brother.
So are we up to today?
Today, so our friend Glenn Sanford becomes a billionaire, right?
Our buddy.
Everybody. And he goes, "Hey, Tristan, I just bought Success Magazine." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I saw, bro. Congratulations. That was a good move." He's like, "I need help with the community. Can we talk?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." So we jump on a talk, and he's like, "So I'm going to start this podcast network. We've got all of these people that you can interview from our 100-year history that I'll just feed you. You just interview them and help us grow the community at the same time." I'm like, "I'm in."
Yeah.
So that was one opportunity. COVID hit, and that COVID, a lot of people slowed down because people naturally deal with uncertainty
Differently.
badly.
Yeah.
Most people, right? And we didn't, because I've sucked at a lot of things, so I know. I'm like, oh, another opportunity, right? And this is an opportunity.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's go in. Let's be the voice for real estate again. Let's give them the real estate agents. Let's show them what can be done in whatever world we're heading into.
Yeah.
So we broke Zoom first, and we called them up, and they were like, hey, we've never had a webinar this big, 10,000 people. We don't know if we can handle it. So they sent us all the way up, and literally March was COVID. April, we were breaking Zoom.
Yeah.
So we had the largest Zoom conferences, webinars for that whole year. And we thought, we need to show up every day. That's what we're going to do. And that's what we did.
Yeah.
So then another opportunity, be the voice, right?
It was
So
needed.
that,
Man. It was needed.
dude, it was. And then that led into other opportunities because people see you, right? Right? Like what's happening right now, dude. You've got an amazing podcast. People are seeing you, listening, connecting, and they're like, well, how else can we work with Mike, right?
Yeah.
Same thing. Then our team kept on getting bigger. We had more opportunities to help businesses grow their communities further, like follow up us, right? And so now we've got all these different little businesses that are growing and helping out people.
That's cool, man. That's cool. So what are you working on for today? You've got something you mentioned that you're going to be relaunching. Do you want to talk about that now, or do you want to do another episode on it?
Whatever you want to do, but right now, we released our book. I'm working on the Audible. So Wiley Publishing published the book for me.
And what's the name of the book?
It's called Real Estate Prospecting.
Okay.
So just
Do you have a
focus on
copy of it there?
I don't.
Oh, it's okay. That's all right. We'll put a link to it in the description.
Thanks, man. It's been doing really well, and it just outlines how to succeed in today's world with real estate. And it gives you processes, systems, pretty much how I built my business and how we're still growing that. So we're working on the Audible for that, which is going great. And then we're working on launching group coaching for teams and brokers on a group level. So not focused on the top 1%, focused on the rest of the teams and brokerages, right? Helping them grow. And then we're also focused on helping bigger brands and names, individuals, grow their communities. So there's a few people, after I helped Success Magazine we ran all of their marketing, podcasts, socials, everything. And I learned a lot in that process. I'm like, dude, we're already doing all of this, right? I did it for me, and that's how I learned. And so we ran it for Success, and then we started running it for other big name individuals. So we've launched that one. That's doing really well. So we grab onto people and we're like, hey, you need to be here. We'll do this all for you. You just need to show up on camera, and here's how you show up, right? So that's going really well. So we do that for brands and individuals. And then, dude, I think the number one thing for me is focus on creating more content that allows people to pick it up, look at it, read it, listen to it, watch it, whatever it is, and say, I can use that for my business. And it actually helps me in the bottom line, my personal business, my personal self right now. That's what I'm focused on doing more of.
So I want to help you with that. So we'll talk about that after. We'll talk about that after. There's a lot of stuff we can work on together. This is really cool. This is really cool.
Dude, I'm happy. So happy to help.
Yeah, pretty cool. So, so what else are you working on right now? Like for tomorrow kind of thing. So what's the future look like?
For the next year, you would say? For the next year?
Let's say the next year, 2, 5.
Well, we're relaunching Brilliant Thoughts, the podcast. That's another one. We've interviewed some pretty awesome people thanks to Success Magazine. So we're taking another shot at that, kind of like season 2 or 2.0 type of thing. Now that we have a better direction, we're relaunching that soon. That's going to be great. And then we're going deeper with the real estate community. So LabCoat Agents got about 166,000 people in it. All real estate agents are real estate world related. Our goal is to do like a 2.0 of that as well. It's it almost needs to be reinvented. It's like Gary Vee says, look, if you're not trying to put yourself out of business often, somebody else is going to do it for you.
Correct.
Right. So I'm always
Just
trying
sit
to put
still long
myself.
enough and watch it happen, right?
I know, man. And we've seen companies like starting to die out, and other ones that get great leadership and get reinvented, right?
Yep.
So I want to always be looking at, are we trying to put ourselves out of business in a good way, right? Am I doing that? And sometimes I find that I'm not, right? And if I'm not the one that can lift the company to be able to get there, then who do I need to bring on to help me, right?
Right.
Or who do I need to talk to help me see things differently to get there, right? So that's what it is. And are you referring to anything else that I told you that I was doing that I'm forgetting?
No, you haven't forgotten anything.
Okay, good. I was
No,
like,
we're good. We just
what am
went
I
through the
missing,
whole
dude?
we just went through the whole list of stuff that we
What am
talked
I
about
missing?
before we hit record.
I'm
I
probably
just wanted to
missing
make sure we
something.
got it in.
I don't know. I don't
So
know.
I'm going to make you the same offer that I made everybody else. When you get ready to launch your podcast, come back on and we'll talk about it so we can get you some
Dude, yeah.
promotion about that. And then anything else that you're working on, like when you launch the Audible, that kind of thing, you're welcome to come back on. We'd love to have you.
Dude,
I think you and I probably should do like a regular deal because we have a whole ton of stuff to talk about. And one thing, I want to get Glenn Sanford on my podcast. I want to interview him, and I'm
dude,
to get him. So if you can
text him
make that introduction, that'd be huge.
for sure.
But I'd love to help you on what you're doing. So anything I can do, I'm happy to help. So I'm going to want to get together with you and just sit down and go over a bunch of stuff. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that's going to line up for you and I coming up.
You listen to podcasts often?
I do.
Okay, there's a great app that came out last year. I don't know. You don't know if you know it. It's Snipped. Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I love Snipped, dude. I've been using Snipped on all the podcasts I listen to because when I'm listening to podcasts, regular podcasts on Apple or on Spotify, they don't give you the ability to click it, bookmark it, and put notes.
Right.
Snip does, right? You click it and be like, create. I'm like, oh, now I have all these little snipped from all these podcasts.
I love it because this stuff happens, right? And it's tough because I listen to podcasts like when I'm walking or driving or whatever, and I have to stop and take notes, right? So yeah, it's awesome.
I have a question. How do you listen to podcasts? Do you listen like you said, is it driving?
Working out. So I lost 162 pounds.
Holy dude, in how many months or years?
Well, it was actually in a while. So the first 104 I lost over about a 2.5 year period. And then I got sick in 2018. And I spent 7 hours in the emergency room. I got that flu that was going around that was one of the deadliest in decades. I spent 7 hours in the emergency room at Palomar Hospital here in Escondido. And afterwards, I went to the doctor the next day and I said, what do I need to do, doc? And she goes, you need to lose weight. I'm like, doc, I've lost 104 pounds. And she goes, well, you need to lose more and you need to do it now. I was literally diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. I was 51 years old, the same age my dad was when he was diagnosed. And so I went home and I told my wife, I said, I want to go to Medifast. I want to go. A good friend of mine is a broadcaster here in San Diego, and somebody I admire greatly, and he lost 93 pounds. Take me there. And she said, no. She said, you've lost 104 pounds using this one book. It was written by Suzanne Summers. It's called Eat Great, Lose Weight. And she said, we're going to dust it off and we're going to use that. And if your body doesn't respond, then I'll take you to Medifast. I'm like, okay, that's the deal, right? So in 90 days, I lost 51 pounds.
Suzanne Summers.
Suzanne Summers, of all people, Three's Company, right?
Yeah. I grew up watching that show.
She was diagnosed with cancer like 25 years ago. And it made her start researching how we eat, how our bodies digest food. And what she found was you don't eat you don't. So I grew up on a farm in Oklahoma, and we ate meat and potatoes every meal. Meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
You don't do that. What you do is, if you've ever gone to a steakhouse and had a really good steak and a baked potato, and then afterwards you felt like you needed a nap,
Yep.
it's because your body is struggling to digest the carb and the protein. So what you do is you have protein and vegetables. 3 hours later, you can have the potato and vegetables, but you don't have them together. Okay. Because what happens is your body gets to a point where it just gives up. It just stops trying, and it just layers of fat on like there's no tomorrow.
No way, dude.
It converts it into fat. So what you do to make, and if you try this, if you just have a protein with your vegetables, by itself, afterwards you'll feel like you can run through a wall.
Okay.
Your energy level is insane. And the same thing happens when you have potato or carb of some kind with your vegetables. You'll feel like $1 million because your body's not struggling anymore. It's literally on the right path, and you're giving it the path of least resistance to an extent to digest.
Dude.
So I walk every day. I walk a lot, right? And so when I'm on my walks, I listen to podcasts. When I'm driving, I listen to podcasts.
Me too.
I sometimes will listen to podcasts when I'm doing paperwork, like when I'm working at my office and that kind of thing. So it just depends. So, but yeah, that's pretty much what I'm listening.
That's cool, dude. Same with me. Driving, working out.
Yeah.
That's about it. Yeah. Cool. I loved it. Thanks.
So this has been fun, and I am super excited. I'm so glad.
What?
I'm so glad we got a chance to meet, man. This has been a lot of fun.
First, buddy. Campers.
That's it, baby. Campers and climbers.
You gave me a name. It's like, because when I door knock, I'm dying. I'm going to die here. They're going to take me out in a coffin. I'm like, campers. Thank you.
That's it, baby. That's it. Thanks so much for being our guest on the Mike Litton Experience.
Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate you, buddy. This was fun.
This was great. Thank you.
See you soon. We hope you enjoyed another episode of the Mike Litton Experience. If you did, do us a favor, smash that subscribe button, tell your friends, family, and coworkers about our program, and wherever you get your podcasts, please leave us a rating. It helps us to connect with quality people just like you.
And that's a wrap. Another episode of the Mike Litton Experience in the books. Reach out to Mike on Instagram at Litton Realty. Want to meet with Mike? Check out calendly.com/Rio760.